Lesson 7-7, Special Products. Special products refers to multiplying polynomials that will follow specific patterns. There are two special products. One is perfect squares and the other one is the product of differences. Both of these follow patterns that allow us to quickly multiply without having to use FOIL or table, and this provides a shortcut that allows us to save time and it limits mistakes. Perfect squares, if you square any number, variable, or polynomial, you get a perfect square. Squaring a binomial results in a specific pattern. We can square either a sum or a difference, and here are the patterns. If you have a plus b and you square it, you get a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And if you have a minus b and you square it, you get a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And here's why this works. If I take a plus b squared, that's the same as saying a plus b times a plus b. And if I use the FOIL method, a times a gives me a squared, a times b gives me ab, b times a gives me ab again, and then b times b gives me b squared. When I add these together, I get two of them. Well, now we can skip this entire center part and go straight from the beginning to the end. So here's some examples. What we do is we square the first. So we square the first term. So x squared. Then multiply the first times the second times the number 2. X times 4 gives me 4x, times 2 is 8x, and then you square the second term. 4 squared is 16. So 3x squared, you have to square the 3 and the x, so you get 9x squared. 3x times 5 is 15x. This is negative, so this is negative. 15 times 2 is 30. And then I square the 5. 4x squared is 16x squared. 4 times 13 is 52. Times 2 is 104. And then 13 squared is 169. If you have variables in both terms, that works okay too. 2x squared will give me the 4x squared. 2x times 5y is 10xy. So here, let me write that out. 2x times 5y, and then we want to multiply that by 2. That gives me 2 times 5 times 2 is 20. xy, this is negative, so this is negative. And then 5y squared is 25y squared. So the first sign, positive or negative, will match what's in the parentheses. The second one will always be positive. So why don't you try this one really quickly? And you should get 100x. Okay, you should get 100x squared. 10 and 15 is 150, times 2 is 300, and then 15 squared is 225. The other pattern we have is the product of a sum and a difference. The product of a sum and difference follows a specific pattern. What you have is the same numbers. The first and second term will be the same, and then a plus and a minus. And when that happens, you get a squared minus b squared. And this is what happens because if we FOIL, I get a times a, which is a squared, minus ab, plus ab, and then minus b squared. The minus and the plus ab cancel each other out, giving me a squared minus b squared. So when you're doing the product of a sum and difference, the first thing you do is you square the first term. And the second thing you do is you square the second term. And then you put a minus in between. Okay, so x squared and 4 squared is 16. 2x squared will be 4x squared, so, and then 5 squared is 25. And it doesn't matter if the plus or the minus, if the plus comes in the first parentheses or in the second parentheses, that doesn't matter. Oops, 3x squared is 9x squared, so I get 9x squared, and then 6 squared is 36. 4x squared is going to give me 16x squared. 5y squared is 25y squared. 8x squared is 64. And 2 squared is 4. So as you can see, that saves a lot of time if you learn the pattern. Plus, when we get to factoring, knowing these patterns will be very helpful.